Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Canadian Shield. My name is Sterling. I'm your host. Freeland, the Finance Minister and Deputy Prime Minister, along with Minister Marcy Ng, were out making announcements today about how they're spending more tax dollars that Canadians don't have on projects that do absolutely nothing to improve the quality or the caliber of living in Canada. In this case, it was all about sports, and they were giving money to many athletic organizations so that those individuals could focus full-time on their sports and not have to carry part-time jobs or such and such. Now, I understand, having spent a lot of time in athletics and having been a person who enjoys sports most of my life, that there is real money for the need. There is real needs for the athletes to have that kind of money. And I completely understand that. I don't know that we should be doing it on the situations that we're currently experiencing. Of course, they have to announce, because that's the next idea. That's the next Hail Mary desperation, is to try and get everybody united around a sports team. That's the idea that comes part 3 in the playbook, right? First you divide, then you try to get one particular base. In the Liberals' case, it's all of the single mothers and all the people that find Justin Trudeau very pretty to vote for you, and turn everyone who doesn't vote for you into the enemy. And then when that begins to fall to pieces, when the people that voted for you realize that you're leading them down the incorrect path, of course, the next thing you do now is you try to have sports to unite everyone around cheering against other. You need to make a new enemy now, right? So in this case, it'll be whoever they're competing with or competing against. I don't know that it's a appropriate time for tax dollars to be spent on it. However, I will let Christy of Freeland explain to you how it's going to save Canada. Now, she got some questions from the press gallery, and I don't know that these questions were pre-approved, because she didn't really seem to have any answer to them. As a result, she just rambled on and on and on and repeated herself the same 4 or 5 talking points. I lost count. She also answered some questions about the digital tax, but I'm going to do a different video on that one, because in this one, I just want you to hear how. Well, I'll let her hear for yourself. Before I get into it, I would encourage you to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this channel with your friends.
Excuse me, and can you address the calls for change that are coming from some prominent Liberals who say, following that by-election, something significant needs to happen. The leader needs to change, some sort of policy development needs to happen. There needs to be a symbol that the party is listening to the results, and there has to be a reaction to that. Do you think that that your government needs to make a significant change here?
The Prime Minister has my full support. I know he has the full support of Cabinet, and I know he has the full support of the vast, vast majority of Liberal MPs. The people of Toronto St. Paul's did send us a message, and it is absolutely incumbent on us to hear that message. That message was, things are hard. Life is really challenging right now. And you, our government, need to do a better job delivering for us on the things that matter in our lives. You need to do a better job making life easier for us. So, yeah, Canadians, people in Toronto St. Paul's, they sent us a message. They said, work harder, deliver for us. Things are hard for us. We expect you to work hard and deliver results and make things easier.
So I think I speak with all Canadians when I say the easiest thing that you could do for us is just get out of the way. You are not capable and not competent enough. You act and behave like your decisions and your policies are not the reasons that we're acting rough in a life that is completely and utterly, basically rapidly cruising towards a third world country. You talk at us like we don't understand who's responsible for that. And then you say Canadians want us to make life easier for them. You know what? I would, at this point, be happier if you would just stop making it harder. That would be amazing. That would be a good place to begin. Now, this next question was awesome.
Thank you. And a quick follow-up from our Ottawa Bureau. Your party is 20 points down in the polls and you've lost one of the safest Liberal seats in the city you've represented, largely due to voters' concerns around the cost of living and their finances. Can you explain why you should stay on as finance minister?
Well, that's a choice for the Prime Minister, of course. But what I will say is there was definitely a clear message from the voters of Toronto, St. Paul's. And I think it's really important for our government to hear that message and to act on that message. And that message was, things are hard. Life is hard. You as the government need to act and deliver to make life easier for us. We hear that, and we know that we have to work harder, and we have to deliver and show results for Canadians. We have to deliver on housing. We have to deliver on making life more affordable. We have to deliver on economic growth and jobs. And we have to continue to do all of that in a fiscally responsible way that allows interest rates to continue to come down.
So you can hear how she just said the exact same answer that she went on for the first time. At no point does she address any of the hard questions, like why she's qualified to be finance minister. She doesn't even answer that question, right? She just says, oh, well, we'll have to see what the Prime Minister decides. Who believes that? Who believes in once for a single second that Prime Minister Trudeau makes any of his own decisions? I don't think that she wants to take responsibility for the devastation of the economics. But I can tell you what I do know is that there's about 15, 20 countries in the world right now, all of them Western countries. They're all having the exact same issues. And they all have one thing in common. One geographic location on the world. They all have that in common. So I don't know that he's going to be deciding whether or not she be the finance minister. And if he does have that decision-making process, why hasn't he removed her already? I'll tell you what I don't think. I don't think that Justin Trudeau will be prime minister much longer. They won't be able to survive. There was a caucus meeting at her house called the 416 caucus of the Liberal Party, which is just the area code. And she goes, oh, well, I have a central location, so I just offered my backyard. If you want me to believe that she offered her backyard and the party wasn't catered on the taxpayer's dime and that she wasn't involved in the conversation, then I got a bridge in New York I can sell you. There's absolutely no way in the world that she wasn't involved in that. And we have to remember that from between Oshawa to Oakville, there are 50 Liberal seats. 50. You can't expect me to believe that they're going to put all of those seats to jeopardy like they did with St. Paul. Right now, they're just moving their pieces around to see who and which way is the best way to get rid of Justin Trudeau or to have him resign of his own volition and still make the rest of them look good. Because they don't want to understand that all the while they voted for these policies. So they're getting ready to, I believe they're getting ready to just throw him right under the bus. And none of that, they will do all of that in an effort to make themselves look not bad, right? To make themselves look better. Like Chrystia Freeland clearly has run this country's finances into the ground. But you don't hear her accepting responsibility for that, do you? I didn't. I mean, I saw an expression come across her face where she couldn't believe that she was being asked that question. And then she answered the same thing she's always been answering. Dental care, babysitting, things that don't have very strong impact, things that damage the GDP, not improve it. And that does absolutely nothing to improve the quality of living that Canadians are having, especially in Toronto, where rents are one of the highest in the world. In the world, imagine that. In the world, second largest country on earth. And we have two cities that have the third and the fourth most expensive rents in the world. So without Toronto and losing all those seats, they're not going to do that. They're not going to put that at risk. And right now they are all running up and down trying to figure out who's in trouble with which, who's running against them and all of that stuff. They don't care about what the people want. They're just hoping and praying that they can get all of their own base to vote and the people will just stay at home again. No matter what you hear, get up, go to vote, cast your vote, because you cannot leave to chance that the Conservatives are going to win every seat in this country. The only way they're going to win is if you get up and cast your vote. All right, I'm going to wrap here. I want to thank y'all for listening. I'll talk to you next time.